What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into Smackdown from November the 29th, 2024. A pretty good show. This show was taped, so I'm sure that most of us probably looked at the results and spoilers. But nonetheless, it was still a good show. Pretty good show. For the most part. So we kicked the show off with the women's wargames. So I'm not going to go over really what happened. They didn't say much of anything. It was just Rhea and everybody jaw-jacking. Same thing with Liv and her team. They were jaw-jacking. It broke down into a massive brawl. And that was it. But this segment went on way too long. It should have just lasted no more than about probably all of 5 minutes, if that. But, it is what it is. So this leads us into the first match of the night. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Andrade. Pretty good little match for the most part. Pretty good, solid match. So, Nakamura got the win via the Kinshasa for the 1-2-3. Match was good. So, post-match, LA Knight, he comes down. He tries to beat down Nakamura, but to no avail. So, he gets hit with the mist, the poison mist. And the referees come in and they have to wipe LA Knight's face with a towel. So, Nakamura gets some momentum. This is okay. This actually does make sense. Do I think he'll win at Survivor Series? No, he won't. Nakamura is just there just to have him something to do. And he does look like the Grim Reaper incarnate, basically. That's kind of how he looks. So, that's pretty okay there, I guess. But, it is what it is. Match should be okay. But after LA Knight defeats Nakamura at Survivor Series, what's next for LA Knight? Like, he needs to have a feud of some sort. He has to have a feud. He has to. I don't know, but Triple H has to think of something for LA Knight to do. There needs to be a feud because he's not done much of anything with that U.S. title. And he's had it for about close to 3 months now, I would assume. So we'll see how shit goes. Moving on. So Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they had an argument with each other. So basically Ciampa says that they were screwed out of the tag titles and they're not losers. Gargano says that things have changed. Ciampa says nothing's changed. Ciampa says that he doesn't care about Gargano's mentor and Alex Shelley. Ciampa says they're going to do things his way and that Gargano has just one more week to figure his crap out or it's his way to get the tag team titles back. Okay, that's cool there. I actually do like this. It seems like Johnny Gargano, he's conflicted. And, does he want to listen to his friend Tommaso Ciampa, or is he going to listen to his mentor Alex Shelley? So it's kind of a tug of war, basically. I actually do kind of like this. I hope that Ciampa just snaps and just turns heel and takes out Gargano. Ciampa does his best work as a heel, always has, always will. He's obviously the better of the two from DIY. Gargano, I don't give a single fuck about Gargano. I used to back in the day, but as of currently, meaning within like the last probably 3 to 5 years, not so much. No, sir. No, not at all. But this is okay. We'll have to wait and see how things go. But Ciampa is definitely going to turn heel for sure, and this makes sense. Moving right along. So we get a vignette from Kevin Owens. He gives everyone a rundown of why he's right. He shows footage with dates dating back from January of 2021 on how he was attacked by Roman Reigns in the Bloodline. He says that Cody Rhodes was in the building in 2023 with his match with Roman Reigns, but he was nowhere to be found. He gives examples of how Cody was in the building, but he didn't help him, that being Kevin. Kevin Owens says that Saturday night's main event, at Saturday's night's main event, he will turn Cody Rhodes into the Canadian Dream. I like that. Really cool stuff there. Excellent shit. Excellent. I figured that this is what they were going to do anyway. They had been pitching for a while and leaving us clues and hints that we were going to get, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event, which makes perfect sense. Like, why wouldn't you? Makes sense. And it's a TV match, so that's cool. But I'm actually quite excited for Saturday night's main event. I think WWE is going to build it as a pay-per-view on television, which is how it should be built. And we're gonna get another Saturday night's main event a week before the Royal Rumble next year, which is great. So I guess these serve as mini pay-per-views or mini pay-per-view buffers until we get to WrestleMania season, because we don't have within the Triple H era, we don't have pay-per-views on in December, but you should always have a pay-per-view in December. TNA does it. AEW, they're doing it. This is like going to be their second year that they're going to do World's End. And WWE used to do it during the Vince McMahon administration, but Triple H, not so much. But I do like the fact that they are bringing back Saturday night's main event. Should be a fun fucking time. Moving on. So, this leads us into Carmelo Hayes versus Cody Rhodes. But before the match took place, Carmelo gets on the mic and tells Cody that Kevin Owens was right. Let's be real. Cody is the guy that'll stab someone in the heart. Carmelo Hayes says he'll elevate him as Cody elevated him. And that does not happen because Carmelo Hayes loses to the Crossroads. Match was solid and fun. It was pretty decent. I actually enjoyed it, if we're being honest. What do you do with Carmelo Hayes going forward, though? He is directionless, like a lot of people on the main roster, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. You have so many people that are directionless, and Carmelo Hayes is one of those guys. I don't know what you do with Carmelo Hayes going forward. I don't. He's already had a crack at LA Knight. This is his second time working with Cody Rhodes in a matter of, 4 or 5 months? So, what do you do with him? He needs a feud. Him and Andrade, they've wrestled 7 times and nothing came out of it. So, well, actually 6 times. But that's not where he needs to be. That's not how he gets over. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm a fan of Carmelo. I really am. I like Melo. I do. But they got to think of something for him to do going forward after this. Moving on. So this leads us into the great sit-down interview involving CM Punk and Roman Reigns, along with Paul Heyman. So Roman is there, and he asks, "Where's Punk?" Heyman says he doesn't know. Then CM Punk shows up before Roman gets upset. So CM Punk tells Roman Reigns he showed up for Paul Heyman, not him. Roman Reigns says he doesn't need his help, and that he's here for Paul. Roman Reigns says that he's happy for them. Roman Reigns tells CM Punk that he does not like his attitude or Punk. Paul Heyman tells Roman Reigns that Solo has had them in checkmate since WrestleMania and they need help. Paul Heyman tells CM Punk that if he does not come out the winner, Solo will come after CM Punk next. Paul Heyman says, my bad. Paul Heyman says, united at best, they'll survive. Punk tells Roman that he does not like him and that he's just here for Paul. CM Punk says that he wants revenge, and if they survive War Games, he's all ears to revisit their discussion. Punk says, one time, one favor. Roman then questions CM Punk on favors. CM Punk says Roman doesn't owe him a favor, but that Paul Heyman will owe him a favor. So Punk then gets up and leaves. Roman asks Paul Heyman what the favor is. Then Paul Heyman says, let's get through War Games, and they'll have all the time in the world to talk about it. And then Paul Heyman called Roman his tribal chief, and Roman called Paul Heyman his wise man. So I do like this. This is interesting. Rumors have it that Paul Heyman might turn heel. I think that could very well happen. It's interesting to see where this all goes. Again, I think this is just going to be long-term booking to where this does lead to CM Punk and Roman Reigns inevitably fighting over Paul Heyman. Probably after the Bloodline stuff is long gone. The Bloodline stuff probably won't end until WrestleMania 42. And that's probably where it'll end. And so maybe this will give us a taste of, SummerSlam in 2026. So that could be where they're going with all of this. So hopefully that does happen because it needs to. I think if you give people like a year and some change to build this story right here, because CM Punk and Roman have a ton of history together. They've had it for over 10 years. Well, actually, for a good 2.5, 3 years, because CM Punk left in 2013. So, and it was always, even back then, it was always thought that he was the leader of the Shield, the guy who orchestrated and created the Shield. So there's a bunch of history there with these guys, both these guys. I still do think that Seth Rollins will get involved, as well as The Rock. Both those guys will show up and have a play in the finish of the Bloodline Civil War Games. So that's probably what will happen. But this was a great segment. Moving on. So Michin, she advances in the Women's U.S. Championship Tournament. She defeats Piper Niven and Last Legend. Match was okay. But we all knew that Michin was going to win. We all knew she was going to win. Why? Because she's one of Triple H's black and gold favorites. So most of the times, they always win. More often than not. Moving on. So we go backstage. LA Knight, he's getting medical attention on his eyes. Byron Saxton comes in, and he wants to get a word in with LA Knight. LA Knight says that Shinsuke Nakamura has a big problem. LA Knight says that he will drop Shinsuke Nakamura on his head, and that was that. So this is fine. This makes sense. So we get a backstage segment with the Usos and Sami Zayn. So Nick Aldis gets in, enters and tells them that everyone's banned from ringside, which includes Jimmy and Sami Zayn. Okay. I forgot to mention he also told the same thing to Solo's Bloodline earlier on in the show. I forgot to mention that. Main event of the evening. Jacob Fatu defeats Jey Uso via the moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. And then the new bloodline, they come out and they celebrate with Jacob Fatu. And that was Smackdown. So this is fine. This makes sense. We already knew that Jacob Fatu was going to win the War Games advantage match. Match was fun. It was solid. Sucks that Jay took a loss here, but we figured he was going to do it anyway. So my issue is, are we going to have Jey Uso revert back to just being a tag team guy? Or are they still going to push him as a singles guy? Because he's over as both. So I don't know. I mean, is he fully integrated back into the Bloodline storyline, or is this just these guys just coming together and doing some Avengers type stuff for a little bit, and then they all go their separate ways? I don't know. We have to wait and see. But SmackDown was okay for the most part. Definitely loved the CM Punk Roman Reigns stuff, so that was cool. Everything else was all right. Cody and Carmelo, that was fun. That was cool. The women's US stuff, that's all right. So, yeah. I just don't like the fact that we're getting 2 War Games matches. I don't like that at all. I feel like the women's War Game match should just be a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match. That would suffice for me, but such is life. It is what it is. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.